Hey everybody, Steve Burns back. Now we're going to add a little bit of foliage to the top of the cliff and maybe some of it coming down a little bit to the sides of the cliff. And a fast and easy way to accomplish that, I'm going to grab this guy right here. Okay, we're going to utilize this content right along the edge. Let's go ahead and open that up in Photoshop. And let's go and use the entire thing. So I'm going to come right over here and grab this entire side, this whole green thing right over here, and copy it. Command C. Let's go get the other image. Command V. Okay. And let's go put it on the very top. I happen to have a layer in the lower section targeted. There. Okay. Hit the V key for the move tool. We're going to look at where you want to put things. Okay. I'm going to put it probably somewhere in here. I'm going to give it a mask, a black filled mask. Alter option, click on the mask, gives you a black filled mask by default. Now I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hit the B key for the brush. I'm in the tool that I want, but I'm going to modify this brush just a little bit. Go to our tool palette and let's give this a slight rotation, a slight scattering to get that interesting look on the edge of that. Okay, and if I bring this down smaller, all right, I think that'll work. Go ahead and make a new brush. Let's close this out. Shift click on the mask, find out where everything is. Come on up and start to paint that on in. Okay. So I created a brush that's matching that wonderful texture on here, and I'm going to pull some of this on in. Let's see if I have a little more over here. Okay, I'm bringing the foliage, which is coming right near the water. It's getting some of that water. It's coming down on the cliff. So we'll pull it on back. See, it's looking really nice, isn't it? It's really looking realistic. Kind of blending in there. Now, shift click, bring it open. Okay, I've got the whole space full. And we're going to just gently bring it on in there. We're going to paint it in, and it's going to be in the crevices in here. All right, these little crevice areas coming out. Some of it's going to overgrow just near the waterfall. This is on top, so it's going to give that feeling. I'm going to have to put another piece of foliage over here so I can create the waterfall being surrounded by some of that foliage. Okay, let's bring it on down across. So you see where we're going with this? All right, so we're not going to complete this, but you get an idea what's going on. I can duplicate this layer, Command J. Let's turn off the mask. Let's go ahead and pull it on over to the other side. Okay. That looks great. Grab some of this, kind of pull it a little bit closer here. All right. Give that, I'm going to fill that entire mask, and it's already giving me, even with the mask that it has, it's giving me a nice result. So I'm going to hit the B key, go to black. We're going to take it away from this. Hit the X key to go to white. Pull this on down. Yeah, give it a nice little feel there. Add a little more foliage. Okay, add it on there. Let's integrate that in. So use your imagination. I'm going to go ahead and, so we're getting this harsh line that you don't want. So in no harsh lines, want everything to integrate in there. So just take your brush, paint with black. Okay, can always break it up. So if I want to add one more, I'll just duplicate the layer again. I recommend that, in fact, I tell you what, I will do that. I'm going to go and actually get another piece of this image. We're going to come right over here and go to my lasso tool. Let's grab some of this, all this information right down in here. Command C, go back to the other image. Command V, okay. Hitting the V key, I'm going to kind of maybe get some of the foliage to come right across the top here. Now, if you want to bring down that opacity so you can kind of see how things are going to flow. All right, I'm going to go over here to 100%. utilize the same brush with the B. Alt key, give it, fill it with black. Hit the X key to go to white. And we're going to start to paint this foliage. And this is a great technique for making trees and all of that stuff. To say this foliage is going to come off that cliff, and it's creating an overhang over this little area here. That's where the water is coming out from underneath. Okay, so if that is the case, I'm going to pull this up a little bit, and the foliage is coming right down here and spilling down. And if that's that's overlaying, we have to have a little shadow underneath it. So there's my shape. Go add one more layer underneath it and paint on that layer with black gently. Make it a little darker there. Pull it on over just a little bit. Okay. And then give it a filter, blur, Gaussian blur to soften up. There we go. Make sure that is a multiply blend mode. Okay, so we're getting places here. Okay, so it gives you an idea where to go. Put the time into this. Make your composites look great. So once again, now we've already talked about how to save this out, and I don't want to make sure we don't forget the workflow that we're going to merge pretty much everything together into a single area before we actually, export it out as a MOV or a QuickTime file. So any layers that can be merged, merge them so that Photoshop doesn't have to deal with excessive RAM being applied to individual layers. And the only layers that you should have unmerged is of course your waterfall, in addition to any layers that are on top of your waterfall. For example, like this foliage area, so to speak. The water, in my opinion, is probably a little bit too much yellow in there, so I'm going to turn that off and on. So I'm going to pull that yellow back a little bit. That's the wrong layer. Let's make sure I have the right one targeted. There. Okay. So I'm going to pull that back a little bit. Okay. And on this one, I believe we had... and accidentally double clicked on it. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to save it. Always save. Drop this down. There's my hue and sat. Go back to hue and sat and maybe take it closer to pure. I can even bring up the brightness here. There we go. But we don't. We want to make it look like it's in the background. So, and this is where we can actually bring in haze and all that. But I'm not going to worry about that. I want to just go ahead and go to my filter. Not the filter, but the window menu. Let's go over to our timeline. Let's bring this on up. Let's connect it to the bottom here. There we are. Create timeline tutorial. And if we get in close, just grab that playhead and you can see the water coming down the mountain. See that? Actually, let's get in even closer. Closer. I'll kind of go back and forth here. Alright, it's got the water coming down the mountain. Pretty fun. Alright, so that's another example. And I hope you guys enjoy this project. Get started on it right away. First thing Monday. And film something, bring it on in, composite thing. You're going to need a minimum of a couple of videos to use in your composite. You need a minimum of 10 images that you're going to use to composite. The whole piece has to look like a cohesive concept. Don't just throw things together. Think about your lighting and other and other things to really make it look realistic. Now read your assignment sheet. I've outlined about 5 different criteria that you need to have for the assignment to get graded on, and I'm going to be a little more critical on this one. So I want your work to look good. I don't want you just to throw things together to do the assignment, okay? Because we're trying to be artists, we're trying to be creative. And I'm going to start paying attention to all the subtle little things that you should have seen, and things that maybe you missed that that can really improve your work. And I'm going to look at things that you did a great job on and then point those out as well. Okay. All right. So enjoy the assignment, and Steve Burns signing off.